The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Mel Kiper's got a new mock draft that's out, and yeah, Jet fans, you're going to have strong opinions one way or another on it. We'll cover that and much more when PK from Badlands joins the show. It is the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Wish you could have been a Jet, Fernando.
Let's see what happens.
What's your message to the Jet fans in New York?
Jets, Jets.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Please click the like button and make sure, if you haven't already, you are a subscriber to the channel. We are presented by FanDuel. I wanted to share this at the start of the show. We're doing a giveaway on our Show X account. If you go on Twitter or X and just search at Jake Asman Show, you could see that all you have to do is follow the account, like and repost the post about the signed Garrett Wilson football that I'm going to give away on the show this Saturday. So if you want a chance to win that, you could just go on Twitter, follow us, repost, and then tag a Jet fan in the replies. Each tag will get you an extra entry in a Garrett Wilson signed football raffle specifically for anyone who follows the show account on X. With that, let's say hello to a good friend of our podcast. He covers the New York Jets for Badlands. He recently teamed up with Zach Rosenblatt on his show Flight Plan to talk all things Jets. There, it's our guy PK, Paul Kilgallen, who joins us now. What's up, Paul? How are you?
I'm well, man. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for the updated bio. I appreciate you keeping track of things. You're the man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on. And I listen to Zach all the time. I had him on this week, and I'm like, let's get PK back on. It's been a little bit, and the Jets have made a flurry of moves. We'll get to the Kiper mock in just a bit, but just give us the overall feel for you as a diehard fan of this team. Are you encouraged, optimistic by what the Jets have done so far this offseason?
Yeah, so I get a lot of heat for being way too optimistic all the time, and I think I'm surprising people a little bit with the way I'm feeling right now because I'm not like overreacting, I guess. As someone who is optimistic, I think people were expecting me to overreact to a lot of what happened, and that's not really how I feel. I feel like they just made some like kind of adult correct moves, right? They didn't do anything that broke the bank. They didn't do anything that is blowing people away, but it was just a series of kind of lunch pail workman-like moves that put the team in a better position. And I feel good about it. Do I feel like they're, on their way to, I don't even want to get into like win totals for next year because the recipe isn't finished. The ingredients are not done yet. We still have a draft to go. We still have a whole summer to go. There's injuries that'll happen. But like they're moving in the right direction, which unfortunately for us is something to be, I guess, happy about, rather than, the goals for being a Jets fan over the last 15 years have changed a little bit. So it's just nice to feel like there's some real progress, and not the fool's gold kind of progress that happened with like a Le'Veon Bell big contract or a CJ Mosley big contract. As much as he was a really good player for this organization, it wasn't those kind of stuff. It was the simpler, like, hey, rounding out the edge room with a group of players that you don't feel like are a liability on the field, like number 72 was for the last 3-4 years, right? So really, really kind of smart, sensible smart money stuff without tons of years of voids on the end of it, that kind of put the team in a position to be competitive moving forward, which is really all we want at the end of the day. Like, we're not asking for a lot, right?
Have you come around on Geno Smith at all? Because I know you were vehemently against the idea of bringing Geno back, and now he is going to be the Jet quarterback. So what are your thoughts on Eugene Smith returning to the Jets?
Yeah, I have two brains there. One is the emotional Jet fan brain that remembers the bad times and remembers everything that happened, and the immature kid that we got when we drafted him in 2013, I guess that was, and everything that transpired after that. And then there's the guy who's been able to watch Geno from a distance the last few years and kind of admire the way he stuck around in the NFL and ate it a little while as a backup on a few teams, and then eventually earned an opportunity again. And so I think my initial hesitance to that was just not wanting to open that old wound. But I think when you look at it logically, you can certainly tell yourself a story that last year on the Raiders was the aberration, and the 3 years previous on Seahawks was kind of what is more of the norm that can be expected from Geno Smith. So, and also the other piece of this is like, you just have to look at what else was out there, right? And when you look at what else was out there, like it almost feels like a no-brainer at that point. So do I love the idea of like taking another turn on Geno Smith based on what happened last time? No, but I'm also, pragmatic enough to look around the NFL and know that it wasn't really getting much better, and that he really is a guy that can give you probably league average quarterback play, and he will throw the ball downfield. He's not going to be what we saw last year where there's a fear to get the ball out and eating a lot of sacks and things like that. Like, he'll throw it and he'll throw picks. And, another guy that we've been asking for a long time is Jameis Winston. And like, Geno kind of is Jameis Winston, just with like a little bit less personality. Right. And so I think we can expect kind of the same output in terms of interceptions, touchdowns, pushing the ball downfield, and just professional quarterback play. So I'm okay with it.
Do you think he's capable of giving us the Fitzpatrick 2015 year, ironically?
So does he have it in him? Yeah, I think he's got it in him. Is it fair for us as Jets fans to expect it? No. Right. So like, when we do get to, August timeframe and we are doing win total graphics and all that stuff, I don't know if it's fair to be like, hey, this is a potentially 10-7 team that could sneak into the playoffs. Again, a lot more to go until we can even have that conversation. But like, if everything goes right and he hits his top end and the offensive line gels and we get, preferably 2 receivers into that room and like kind of the stars all align. Yeah, I always kind of push back on the narrative that in 2015, if we had Geno, it would have been better than Fitzpatrick. Because I always say, like, how much more could we have gotten? Like, Fitzpatrick, for as much as we don't like him, the statistics were really good that season. Like,
yeah, he was awesome until the last game.
Exactly. And even in the last game, he threw the 2 picks or whatever, but Kembrell Tompkins dropped the would-be touchdown to send us to the playoffs, right? And so do I think he can at this age, mid-30s? If everything goes right, sure. But I'm also not like, oh, we can make a run with Geno here. I think this is like this is stepping stone time for the Jets for the coaching staff to show that they can belong, right? It's more any success that the Jets do have. I think I will end up attributing more to the coaching staff and being able to make it work with this group of players than I will attribute to Geno capturing his youth again. All right. So I'll hedge my bet on that one.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We have a giveaway across both streams today. Your chance to win a signed Hall of Fame inscription helmet by one of the all-time greats. Joe Klecko signed helmet is our prize. Make sure you enter before the show ends. If you want a chance to qualify, gift a membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher to be eligible. Also, we added a new weekly raffle prize in addition to the signed Curtis Martin helmet and the signed Garrett Wilson jersey. I have added a signed Vinny Testaverde jersey to our onslaught of weekly prizes. So gift the membership to your fellow Asmaniac, and you will be in the raffle for both the weekly and the Klecko helmet at the end of our second stream today. Let's get to the Mel Kiper mock draft now, because this will cause a lot of controversy. I'll just spoil pick 2 because we're going to spend, I think, more time arguing about what the plan should be with the 16th pick. But Paul, pick 2, the Jets, after Mendoza goes 1 in this mock to the Raiders, the Jets and Kiper's mock select Texas Tech pass rusher David Bailey. So Kiper goes Bailey here. What's your reaction draft night? if the Jets take Bailey instead of Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, or a different player?
There are 4 players that I think that I'd be okay with taking at 2. Bailey is the 4th of the 4, right? So I'm not going to overreact to it and be like, I hate this or anything like that. It's not a strong aversion to it, but if you're in a position where you have Bane, I will include in that 4 because I love Bane. I understand everybody, comments are probably going to light up with T-Rex arms and all that stuff. I get it. I like Bane a lot based on what I watched in the college football season of him playing football. I think Arvell Reese is like shooting star type stuff. Like that could be really, really fun. And I think Sonny Styles also is just like a really solid player. So he would be the 4th player that I would take in that group of 4 players. But I also understand that it's 4 pretty good players. It's 4 pretty good options. So it's not the player that I would take, but I wouldn't overreact to it either.
I think the thing with Bailey that you have to really like is just the production's been there in college, and he's like going to help you rush the passer right away. I think Reese is if you're swinging for the superstar, and I just think he might be the better all-around football player. The more I watch him, and we have different guests on who could really break down the film and kind of show some of the subtleties that Reese could do that don't always show up in a box score. We had a great conversation with Robbie Sabo and Frankie V debating this on the show on Monday, Jet fans. So check that out if you missed it. I'm not going to sit here and complain about Bailey. I lean Reese, and I do think ultimately Reese will be their pick, but obviously things could change. And as long as they're right, I don't think any Jet fans going to care.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a good player at the end of the day, we won't care about it in a couple of years. But again, I think there's better options at 2.
The pick at 16, this is where it gets interesting. This is where the debate will be had for many of us over the next month or so until this draft. At number 16, the New York Jets are on the clock, and they're drafting a quarterback. The QB from Alabama is the pick in Mel's mock. I'll read you what Mel wrote, and then we will react. Quote, the Jets don't have to draft a QB here. They traded for Geno Smith as a bridge option and have 3 first-round picks in 2027 when the QB class should be a lot better. But this is a good range for Simpson, who has only 15 career starts, but throws with accuracy, processes quickly, and moves well in the pocket. He threw 28 touchdown passes in 2025 and is a first-round QB in my book. Simply put, New York has to take some swings to figure out the long-term solution under center. I could see the Jets drafting Simpson and letting him learn and develop a little behind Smith before he moves into the starter role. Okay, PK, you get the first word on this. If the Jets were to draft Simpson at pick 16, your reaction is?
Measured, because I will understand. But I think what surprised me the most about this Kiper mock was what else was on the board when they did this. So Mekhi Lemon was still there. Omar Cooper was still there. Casey Concepcion was still there. And so pretty big need at wide receiver. And so to spend the 16th pick on a player that's in an ideal world, not going to play much in his rookie year, with where the coaching staff is at, seems a little like you're reaching a little bit. And so I would want to understand what was the reason that you made this pick. If you could sit down with me and reason out that, hey, we think we can get a wide receiver at 33, and we think we could maybe get another wide receiver at 44, and we're okay with not taking the safety McNeil Warren, and we're okay with not taking CJ Allen. And we think that the delta between what we can get at those positions later and Ty Simpson and the delta we can get at that position later, like if they can logic all that out and be like, look, Ty Simpson was going to go to the Steelers a couple picks later, or Ty Simpson was going to go here a couple picks later, and we had to do this, I will accept it. But I just think there's better options at this point in the draft, right? So it's not a great problem for the Jets to have, where they're picking in a spot where if you take him at this spot, you're probably reaching a little bit, and you're probably doing it to prevent another team from grabbing him, which is not how you want to be in the draft. How you want to be in the draft is you want to be able to just grab the best player at the pick that you're at. And so look, at the end of the day, if Ty Simpson ends up being a good quarterback way down the road, and we won't know that for 2, 3, 4 years, maybe, then nobody complains about where you took him. But with where the state of the franchise is at right now, where their picks are at, and what their needs are, I'm just surprised that this was the pick that Mel Kiper made with the other players available on the board. How do you feel about it? I know you had an encounter with him in Indy. It seems like, and by the way, nothing I said is an indictment on Ty Simpson. Seems like a great kid. I actually, like, I kind of want him. I just, like, I'm trying to Rubik's Cube, like, if there's another way to do it besides just taking him at 16.
I think everything you said is totally fair. The biggest issue I have is the 15 career starts. Again, just history would say he'd be a historic outlier, just like Aaron Glenn turning out to be a really good coach based on coaches who start the way he did and make the changes he did after a year. My logic with Simpson is similar. I like him personally, and I think he's an awesome guy, and I see the leadership, and I understand why people really like him, but it's 15 career starts. And, like, other than Cam Newton, go back the last 15 years, guys who have made 20 or fewer starts that go in the first round, it's a brutal list, man. Like, the most successful quarterback is probably Kyler, who's not even on the team now, that drafted him. I mean, we're talking about guys like Trey Lance and Anthony Richardson and Mitch Trubisky. It is just littered with busts. So I can't do it at pick 16. I think Ty's the type of guy you could talk yourself into because, while he hasn't played a lot, he's the son of a coach. He played for Nick Saban. He got to go against the Bama defense and practiced every day for years. Like, there's a lot of things you could point to with Ty that you like, and his film, until he started playing through the injuries, was really good at the beginning of the year. Like, we've all seen some of the clips on various shows. It's just tough to argue, hey, take him at 16 when the Jets are in this unique spot, Paul, where the coach is on the hot seat, and next year you have 3 first-round picks in what is perceived to be a way better QB class. So to take the swing now, oh, but Jake, you could just do it again next year. This is the 16th overall pick. You can't just light that pick on fire. So I like Ty, but I think I could only justify taking him in the second round. I pick 33 at the earliest, or maybe, if it doesn't cost a ton, moving back into the first round at the very end just to make sure you get him. But other than that, I think 16's too high for him. I wouldn't do it as much as I like him personally.
Yeah, it feels like it's forcing it. And to your point, like, there's a lot of things that line up against making that pick in terms of the experience. And, like, look, you can't use outliers as like a total no-go. Like, people said the same thing about Sam Darnold ever figuring it out. People have said, like, but it is a data point to consider. And when you put that along with the fact that the Jets have other needs and he won't play year one, and, like, there's too many data points that line up against doing this, where it feels like if they did do it, it would just be like, man, like, the Jets just did it again, right? Like, they just did something in the face of a lot of reasons to not do it. And so it would feel frustrating as a fan. And again, nothing really against the player or the person, just the spot and the needs.
Totally agree. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Raffle at the end of our second stream today, Jet fans, is a signed Joe Klecko helmet for those of you who just joined us. Let's get to voting now in Asmaniac Madness, the greatest tournament in all of sports, people. We have one final matchup inside a region unlike any other. It is a region that we call around here the Dangerous Alliance region. And today it is the big fella in action against the 15th seed, Doug on the couch. Your votes determine who advances to the next round in the tournament. Here's an updated bracket after Luppy yesterday defeated Johnny Boy in the afternoon show, and Mad Max yesterday morning defeated James B. So we have one game left in the Dangerous Alliance region before we kick things off and start with the Extraordinary region this afternoon with Gary and Jay Graves set to do battle. But right now, time to vote. Before you vote, a quick message from the campaign from the big fella.
If you think couches are cozy, buckle up. The bed is coming for that crown. Think about it. Beds are built for sleep. Beds are built for comfort. Beds are built for actual restoration. They hug your whole body. They support your spine. They never require strategic pillow engineering to avoid neck pain. Beds have personal space. Beds have bedtime rituals. Beds have zero guilt about sprawling. Couches, they're for guests. They're for TV marathons. They're for awkward naps that leave you sore and confused. Couches sag. Seats are too short for full leg extension. Every remote becomes a tiny relic lost in the cushions. Bottom line, for rest, for recovery, for pure comfort, the bed wins every single time. Now, go make your bed and enjoy the victory.
That's the message from Big Fella. Time to vote. Hit it.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? You get to pick the ones that make the show rock.
Vote, vote, vote. A super chat from the Big Fella starts us off. Kiper was rage baiting before it was a thing. LOL. I just love that he has changed his pick at 2 for the Jets each time. He went Reese, then he did Downs, and now all of a sudden it's Bailey. He just likes to keep us all on our toes.
Yeah, he has been rage baiting since before it was a thing. He's the original rage baiter, like Francesa seems to do these days, actually.
Mike Francesa versus Connor Hughes in an old-fashioned source-off. Where do you stand just on the power dynamics inside the organization? Do you think Muji's in better standing than Glenn? Do you think they're still equals? Is Glenn still the head honcho? How do you view these figures going into year 2 together?
I don't know if we have enough ability to see through that glass from the outside in. I know that I don't believe Francesa. I don't believe Francesa has eyes or ears in that building.
Do you think he made up like a source telling him this stuff?
It's a pretty crazy thing to accuse a man of his stature of completely.
Like he doesn't need clicks or anything. Like it was at the end of his podcast, buried in like the 50-minute mark.
So he does. I think he does need clicks, though. It's tough, man. I don't want to accuse Mike Francis. I'm a kid who grew up on New York sports radio, right? So it's like it's a weird position to be in, but to just like use logic a little bit, like it just doesn't make sense. Like, why is somebody talking to Mike Francesa about like the power dynamics inside the building when we just came off of 3 press conferences for brand new free agents on the first wave of signings, right? They all came in for their press conferences the same day. All 3 were like, I came here because of Aaron Glenn. We hired a defensive coordinator who has a relationship with Aaron Glenn, right? So like, it just doesn't really seem to make sense. If there has been some kind of power shift or dynamic or whatever, I don't think we have enough.
Real quick, just because like I'm interested in your thoughts on that. But people say that, right? But does that mean that Aaron Glenn like has no say whatsoever? Like he could be working with Muji, and Muji, I don't think is trying to sabotage him. You know what I mean? Like he could be saying to Glenn, like, hey, what do you need for your defense to be successful? And we can help get you players as long as it fits within the constraints like of our budget. Like I think players genuinely still like Aaron Glenn. I just question whether or not, based on the 3 and 14 year, all the changes to his assistants, Glenn noting that Muji helped pick his staff, if there has been more of like a shift. Because Rich Samiti came on my show right before free agency and said Muji's no sidekick anymore. So I wonder what the actual dynamics are following like a 3-win season where it feels like the GM actually made some shrewd moves given the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, if you had framed it to me, or if Francesa had framed it as, hey, Darren Muji grew up a little bit and he is now a true partner with Aaron Glenn and they truly are like working together, that would have been a little bit easier for me to believe. The way he framed it was Aaron Glenn has lost all power, Muji's running the show, and like it's not a logical leak. Like if you just follow your brain a little bit, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And by the way, framing it the other way of, hey, Muji has kind of grown up in the business. If you look at it from last year and you say, hey, he's my age, right? He graduated high school the same year as me. So if you say, hey, this is a 38-year-old person who got a GM job in New York and they put Rick Spielman over to help him out, and Aaron Glenn was here, and like a lot of people were helping him, and you could detect a change in Muji right at the beginning of training camp last year, where a lot of people were unhappy about what happened in especially the later rounds of the draft and free agency last year. And then all of a sudden the season starts and he starts executing these trades, and the opinion starts to change a little bit. And it feels like he's growing up into his position and into this business a little bit. So it's a logical path to say that in year 2, he's taking a step forward. He's taking on more responsibility and he has formed a true partnership. Where you lose me is also he has all the power now. He's consolidated it, and Aaron Glenn has no voice in the building anymore. Like, that's where you lose me.
Yeah, I don't think it's to that extent. I do get the sense, though, from talking with people that Muji has way more sway and like has earned more. I don't know if power is the right word, but I feel like it's no longer like just the Aaron Glenn show. Like, I do think Muji and even Spielman, because he was mentioned by Glenn at the presser at the combine, I think he's more involved. Like, I do think there's a sense of Muji understanding, like, I'm not just going to make a bunch of moves for 2026 to try and like potentially save my coach's job. Like, they trust Muji enough to kind of see the bigger picture and guide the organization to that 2027 offseason.
So my problem is with the way it was framed, because when it's framed that way, it's a positive thing. It's, hey, we have a GM who's really figuring this out, and he's following the right path. The way it was framed and the way it was pushed out to the media was it's a negative thing. And it's, hey, like it was framed negatively around Aaron Glenn rather than positively around Darren Muji. And that's my problem, because I do think there's a lot to be excited about and proud of in Muji, because he came in here as a relative unknown. And I think a lot of people were talking at the beginning, like, this dude's really young. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He's never been at any higher level of scouting than he was with the Broncos. And like, he spent all of his time with the Broncos. And I think there were a lot of people knocking Muji at the beginning. So if you want to frame this story as Muji's coming into his own, great, I'm there. When it's framed the other way, that's where you lose me a little bit. And it feels like that Jets media bias BS.
I just wonder if they win 5 games, what are the odds Muji's here and Glenn's not? Because I fully expect Darren Muji to be here regardless what happens this year. And Aaron Glenn, I can't say that if they don't win enough games.
I don't know. I don't know what it looks like.
If they win 5 games, is Aaron Glenn back in 2027? I find it hard to believe he is.
I would find it hard to believe too, but I also don't know if it's that simple. I think a lot of it is going to be eye test and how it looks, right? If it's like they were battling and they got out talented, and a lot of it is really how it's going to look on the field. The problem last year was that it looked bad while they were losing.
From the beginning, they started 0-7.
I think they could have had a pretty similar record at the end of the season last year, and had it looked differently, I think people wouldn't be talking about Aaron Glenn the way they did. But there was a lot of roster purging that happened in this offseason. We heard what Harrison Phillips said in his interview at the Super Bowl, right? And so I think that there's different kinds of coaches that are out there in the NFL. Robert Saleh is a guy, which he's proven now, because he's willing to take all these guys that are getting jettisoned off of our team and try to make it work again in Tennessee. Robert Saleh is a guy who's going to say, hey, if you don't want to really practice that hard, that's okay. I believe in your talent, and I believe in the job that you can do on the field, and I'm going to use you for that thing, and we'll make it all work together. And I think Robert Saleh is a guy who's going to coach each player individually, and I think that there are positives to that. I'm not trying to completely knock Robert Saleh. I think Aaron Glenn is a guy who's going to come in and say, this is my program, get on board or don't. But this is the program, right? We're not coddling around. We're not building around you. We're not doing anything around you. This is the program. Get with it. And I think that there's a case that you can make that kind of program takes a little bit longer to develop than somebody who can come in and try to customize everything around the players that they have on the roster and try to find some success immediately. And I think that was in part why we saw, as bad as it looked last year, I think there was some resistance on the team with some personalities who were not thrilled about a coach coming in and saying, this is the way it's going to be now. And I think that there is a case that you can make for long-term success with that. Does it work in today's NFL? I don't know. That's a really old school approach. Can you make it work with Gen Z kids who grew up with cell phones and all? Like, I don't know, but we'll see. And I'm willing to give it the shot. And that's why I'm not like out on Aaron Glenn yet, is because I think that the type of program that he runs is a program that takes a little bit longer to develop, and I want to see it in year 2.
I think it's an interesting point, but I do think there was buy-in to Glenn over the summer. Remember, all the players were talking about how they've never been held more accountable, things are different, but then they started 0-7, so I think you could preach these things that it's going to be different, but when you don't see immediate results, naturally it's, here we go again, same old Jets, we're changing the coaching staff and the GM, and we're still losing. And I think that happened last year when they were trying to win, when they had Quinnen and Sauce before it all was blown up. They started 0-7. And I really think losing that week 1 game and then how they came out in week 2, that was alarming, because then it just kind of snowballed from there. And I really do think getting off to a much better start is just imperative, because they can't start 0-2, 0-3. Then it's here we go again, and it won't matter. So, they finished with 5 wins, Paul. That's 8 wins through 2 years. Like, it's just whatever program you're trying to sell, like, you're not selling anything unless there's some results, especially early. Like, as bad as Salah was at times as a coach, he did start 6-3 in his second year, 7-4 before it fell apart. Like, I think getting off to they don't have to be undefeated, but can they be 3-3 through their first 6? Is that crazy? Like, they need something like that to kind of have some proof for the players that what Glenn is instilling is actually working.
Yeah. So first of all, shout out my partner Meegs. He last August we recorded a show and he was like, the Pittsburgh game is the most important game of the season. If they lose it, they're done. And I was like, dude, it's one game. You're crazy. He's never been more right about anything in his entire life. He was completely right about that. So I agree with you there. On the rest of it, like I'm just willing to give it some time. If it looks bad and they only win 5 games, yeah, it's a problem. But we're not there yet. And I think to the point of everybody was on board with it in training camp last year about the accountability and everything. And then they started 0-7. Here's what I'll say about that. It's easy when you have a new boss and a new boss comes in and he's implementing a program to be like, I'm on board, right? And then when you start to actually get held accountable because you do things wrong and you get chirped at it and you're getting, benched for plays and maybe you miss a series, like, it's a little bit different, right? So there are players who were saying, yes, I want to be held accountable. But then when they lived the reality of it, they were like, oh, no, I actually don't like this. I like being treated like a special flower. And the accountability thing is really not for me. And so that's what I mean when I say this program takes a little bit of time to develop, because I think year one rooted out a lot of players who were not really about that life, so to speak. And so they said they were about it last year in training camp, but when the rubber met the road, they really weren't. And so I think we have an opportunity this year to see a group of players who kind of knows what they're walking into at the beginning and hopefully will respond better to that. And I think, and I hope that the result of that is a faster start because everybody's going into this eyes wide open now.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. If they get up to a poor start, who's to say Woody Johnson doesn't get impatient and makes Aaron Glenn this year's Brian Callahan, who started 1-5 following a 3-win season in his first year, right? And then Glenn's record, I'm bad at math, but I think it'd be 4-19 if they started 1-5, if it's the same situation as what Tennessee just went through. So, man, you got to hope that they get a couple of winnable games early. I mean, it's just, you don't want, because you look at their schedule, like they're like, at least on paper, and I understand things obviously change and injuries happen and all that, but if you look at their schedule, how many of these games do you have either an advantage at quarterback or head coach? Like, it would behoove the NFL just to give the Jets like Cleveland week 1 at home, or like the Raiders at home week 1, or if you're going to play on the road, Salah or Arizona.
It's Tennessee week 1. You know it.
Yeah, I think so. I know Brian Costello's floated out the theory they'll put the Jets in Buffalo to open that stadium because they closed out the old stadium. The Jets played the first ever game at Ralph Wilson Stadium way back. So that's been a theory, which would just suck if like the Jets are the homecoming game for the Bills' new stadium. But like I think they have to get a win early, man. Like this can't snowball again.
They do need a win early for sure. I'm trying not to panic before we get there. Because I do want to go into this and like give it a shot because it got pretty ugly last year. With not only with the fan base, but like with the team as well. Like it was ugly, dude. It really was. And so I'm trying to go into this like not completely fresh start because I don't want to do the year 0 thing with Aaron Glenn. Like this is year 2. It's year 2. It's not year 1. And so not with a completely fresh start, but at least with a fresh perspective and a willingness to see it develop this time. And, look, it was bad last year. There's no excuse for it. But I just don't want to get to a point where we're firing the guy before the season even starts because we're saying, hey, what if they to this point, like this conversation, right? Like, what if they win 5 games and we're all talking about like, well, okay.
That just shows you how bad it was, though, right? This is a conversation in March.
100%. And I get it. I understand it. I'm not criticizing the fact that the conversation's happening. I'm just saying from my perspective, I'm trying to like, all right, let's take a deep breath and like, let's see how it looks.
Super chat from Doc Jet Fan. He's in our raffle for 2. Thank you, Doc. Yeah. The Waddle trade will have Jet repercussions. Another wide receiver needing team in front of the Jets at 16. I'm a broken record, I know, but package 16 and 44 to move up for pick 7 and draft a Pro Bowl potential wideout. I'm all about moving up if the Jets feel like they could get that premium wide receiver. 7's the Commanders. They don't have a lot of picks, which is why people have speculated they're a team you should look at for a potential trade up. How would you feel if the Jets were to move up for a wide receiver? Because now it is a fair point by Doc. Miami sitting there at 11. They could be taking that receiver that maybe the Jets were hoping would fall to them at pick 16.
Yeah, so 16 is worth 1,000 and 44 is worth 460. So that puts us at 1460, right? So getting up to 7 requires about 1,500. So he did do his research there. That is actually a good fair market value trade.
Yep.
Good for you, Doc. That feels rich to me, but if you go up and you're getting Carnell Tate or I think people are starting to think Mekhi Lemon is dropping now. If you can get Tyson, there's so much like potential for all these guys to slide. All of them have a knock against them. With Tate, it's the speed. With Lemon, it's the fact that he didn't do the drills at his pro day. With Tyson, it's the injuries. And then you have the guys like Boston and Concepcion. Like, I just don't know if you need to jump up that high. Cooper is going in the first round because he tested so well now, but he's potentially a second round guy at the beginning of the draft process. So I just don't know if you need to pull that trigger. I am all in favor of using your later picks to package and move up as much as you can and try to front load your draft as much as possible. The Jets had a draft a few years back. I can't remember the exact year it was, but they were basically like done picking by the 4th or 5th round because they just kept moving up and trying to load into the front of the draft. And like, I'd be okay with that. They don't need to draft 11 players. They need to get good players. And so I'm okay with this in theory. I don't know if I love this trade because 16, 33, and 44 are all potentially premium picks, and you're essentially zapping one of them to move up and get a guy. And like, how much better is Tate than somebody that you could get at 33 or 44?
That's where you have to hope that Muji in the scouting process has a good feel for these receivers and understands, hey, if we don't take one at 16, are we still going to be able to get a similar level player, say at 33 or 44? Because right now they have a glaring need of that in that wide receiver room. Like you cannot just, I think, bank on, we're just fill it in the draft. Like that is a risky strategy for a team that needs as many weapons as possible to maximize whatever you hope to get from Geno Smith. Like you got Garrett Wilson coming off an injury. I like AD Mitchell. He's a friend of the show. Nice dude, rooting for his success. I don't know if he's ready to be a number 2 in the NFL. They need help in that room. Jawan Jennings is still out there. I'd like them to sign him. He's a veteran who's solid, 6'3". Think he's a nice compliment to Garrett. Something like that, and a premium draft asset, I believe, should be used at wide receiver.
I also don't believe that Brian Thomas Jr. isn't getting traded. That seems like posturing and negotiation to me. So if you're telling me I can trade 44 for Brian Thomas Jr. straight up and not have to zap a pick in the process, that way we're essentially getting a wide receiver at 44 and you can still pick one at 16 or 33. That would be my preferred route, or Jawan Jennings in the free agent market. So I just think there are other ways to do it besides executing that trade.
I think that's well said. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Last chance to get your comment or question read to PK. Give me your thoughts on the Breece Hall situation. They used the tag on him. Do you expect Breece and the Jets to get a deal done long-term, or is he going to play on the tag this season?
I've gone back and forth so many times on this. My head's spinning. I can't even figure out which way is up and which way is down anymore. Breece is a really frustrating player. I think part of it is that I'm old and I don't understand why people his age just like to be on Twitter and just vent their thoughts on Twitter all the time. Like, it's something that I can't really get to. And I'm trying to get to a place of acceptance of like, maybe it's not necessarily personal with the team. And he just like, that's how he is. And he just likes to be online. Do I think he's going to play on the tag or get I do think eventually they will work towards some kind of like 2-3 year deal. That's where I feel like it's like, why use the tag on him and not use it on, let's say, AVT, even though it really sounded like AVT didn't want to be here. I think AVT probably would have played on the tag, right? Like, he's not going to sit out a year. And so I think, they did the tag to tide them over, to get to that long-term contract status, if you believe everything you read, and that, it's 3 years in that, 35 to 40 range, something like that. And I do think they will get there eventually. Do I like it as a Jets fan? I have felt really disappointed by Breece Hall the last couple of years. But I remember the talent from his rookie year. I remember the film at Iowa State. And so I'm hopeful that it can be recaptured at some point. Because at the end of the day, like a difference maker at running back, there's people that say running backs are a dime a dozen, I think are right. People who say it's important to have a difference maker at running back are also right. But I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. It's not one of those extreme takes. It's nice to have a playmaker at that position who can be moved all around the field. That said, we've been saying to move him around the field, line him up at wideout, do crazy things with him for 4 years, and nobody's done it. So like the reason I bounce back and forth is because there's so many frustrating things about having Breece Hall that make me so mad. Like, why aren't we doing this? Why is he on Twitter all the time? Why can't he be happy? And then there's like the far off mirage of what he can be. And it's like, are we going to still keep trying to chase that? So my ask is that if you do bring him back and if you do sign him to a 3-year deal, can we cut the guy loose? Can we stop trying to protect his knee? Can we give him 35 touches a game? Can we just like go nuts with the usage of him and really try to maximize the value of that? Please.
I love the passion, man. PK, thanks for hopping on. Looking forward to hanging out with you again at your guys' Badlands event on April 11th at Stout.
Yep, Stout Midtown. Go grab your tickets now. It's going to be a good hangout. There's going to be some giveaways. There's going to be some games. We're going to have the people there doing mock drafts, including you guys, right? So if you guys show up, everybody's going to be able to do a mock draft. We're going to give away a prize to the winner. So grab those tickets. We are already butting up on the top end of our original ticket production, so we may have to get a bigger room at Stout Midtown. So go grab them while you can. Thanks for having me, Jake.
Paul, all the love, man. Good luck.
Thanks, dude. Talk to you.
PK checking in from Badlands. So we opened talking about the Kiper mock draft. I wanted to play Mel Kiper's rationale for Ty Simpson going at 16 to the Jets. I'll play it. Then we'll react. Again, for those tuning in late, we're going to give away a Joe Klecko sign helping on the show today. No one has gifted a membership at this point, so I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I'm going to gift one right now. If you want it, like the video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Whoever gets this membership will be put in our raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, one gifted membership from yours truly has been fired off.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Listener Dino is in the raffle for one. Congratulations, Dino. You are now a channel member. All right, I mentioned the Kiper cut. Oh, hold on. Colin Wolford stepping up, a 5 spot of channel memberships. 5 members just created. Hit it, Ed.
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
How about that, Colin? Thank you. Here are the 5 people who got a membership. This one is from Michael19TH fan, Rebecca Walsh, JD Surf City, Zach Anderson, Ghost Rider 04, all receiving a membership. Hey, now we're not done. Speak of the devil, Frank P, a 10 spot. Let's go. Hit the Jet chant. Shout out to Frank for making 10 people channel members. Frank's in the raffle now for 10. Mrs. Rogers, Pierre Van Gogh, El Rey Jorge, X-Way, James Bond, Cancrest, Damian Pratt, Suspicious Pearson, Boomers Bag Bozo, all receiving a channel membership from our pal Frank P. Let's go.
Play card is my superpower, really.
All right. Now, for the Mel Kiper cut that I want you guys to hear, and then we will react. This is Mel Kiper talking about why he mocked Ty Simpson to the Jets at pick 16. This audio is courtesy of DNR on ESPN New York.
You have the Jets going Ty Simpson, which, all right, we know that there's a glaring need for a long-term quarterback. My question to you, Mel, is this. How likely do you think there's a possibility that Ty Simpson may even be gobbled up before 16 by another team?
Well, the team would be the Rams at 13, and I've been told, I talked to people in the league, Rams are trying to win now. This is Matthew Stafford's team, and Matthew, they try to get year after year. Keep bringing him back. Let's bring Matthew back and get him another year, and that's about a Super Bowl, right? You already won one, Matthew Stafford did. They want to try to win another one, obviously, with Matthew Stafford, and the way you do that is not by drafting his heir apparent, right? So you go out and you help this football team in other ways, and you get maybe a Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State, to help Matthew Stafford. Stafford. Well, so that's the debate there. But if he gets to 16, what do the Jets do? People say, well, wait till next year and get Archer Dante. And I know it's been talked about. Does Arch want to be a Jet? Is that going to be a problem? And will they be picking? The pick from the Cowboys, where's that going to be? Where's the Colt pick going to be? Where's their pick going to be? But Geno is going to win enough games, not be picking 1-2. There's no guarantee you're going to be in a position next year to get one of those elite quarterbacks.
Mel, at this point now we've gone through the combine and everything else.
Yep.
Where is Ty Simpson? Because I know he's got only the 15 starts and everything else, but like now that he's had a chance to kind of go through some of the process, the people that you talk to, what do they think Ty Simpson is going to be?
Mixed opinion across the board. I mean, it's something, second round, he's not worthy of being. Others say, hey, look at him until mid-November. He was been the top 10 pick. So it just depends on Frank. In this particular case, guys, it depends on Frank Reich. He's the offensive coordinator. He drafted Bryce Young. Now you have another Alabama quarterback sitting there for a team that drafted Joe Namath and Richard Todd. Yeah, that's up to the organization. Certainly Frank Reich. If he says, hey, I sign off, I really believe in this kid, then you take him at 16. If he doesn't, then you wait. You find somebody else.
Okay, so that's Mel Kiper. And look, here's the thing. If they love Ty, obviously you take him, but you better be right. And if you're Darren Muji, you don't have to make this pick yet. Like, you have more time. You could have a draft where you invest 4 picks in the top 44 into your roster. Aaron Glenn's on a different timeline than Darren Muji. People could say, no, Jake. I'm just telling you, I know how the Jets operate, their history. I know from talking to people how Muji is perceived versus how Glenn is perceived. Mind you, I was at the Senior Bowl, the Super Bowl, and the Combine. I spoke with agents, front office people, scouts. I know the perception of both guys. I know Woody listens to a lot of that stuff. We know he does. If you're Darren Muji, you're on better standing than the head coach. I personally believe. People could say I'm nuts. I don't really care. It's my opinion, and I have that opinion based on conversations I've had with people. I don't think you need to take Ty Simpson yet. You don't need to take a quarterback. You're going to get another year. You just got to make sure you hit on players in this draft. I think if Muji has a good draft, he's here next year. I don't know if Glenn is, but Muji's here. So they don't need to take the swing at quarterback yet. They have 3 first-round picks in 2027 to do that. And it's going to be a better QB draft. So unless you're just dead set, if you're full-bloom love with Ty Simpson, right, the way that Brian Dable loved Jackson Dart, then you don't have to take him. You only take Ty if you need to take him because you have that conviction that he's going to be awesome. Like, I don't think you have to do it. So that's why I wouldn't take him at 16 if I'm Darren Muji. I'd rather just add players that could help my team be good, be improved, and give Glenn a chance to prove if he can coach or not. And if he can't coach, you move on. And you get a chance to pick your coach and have that coach have major input into the quarterback that you draft. So that's how I view it. Like, if you love Ty, obviously take him. But if you're Muji and you take Ty this year at 16 and he ends up not being any good, that's on your resume. You might not get another chance to draft another quarterback. We could say, just take one next year. But what if they take Ty, they put him in this year, he's not very good, the Jets win 4 or 5 games, and Woody's like, you know what? I got 3 1s. I'm starting over completely. Like, Ty Simpson's a pick that puts the spotlight on the general manager if you do it at 16. You don't have to do that if you're Darren Muji. You have basically bought yourself time, I believe, for 2027. Now, if you take him, I'm not going to sit here and say, how dare you do it? I see why people like Ty Simpson. I just get very weary of a guy who's made 15 career starts. But I like the player. I like him as a prospect. I just wish he had started 25 games. Honestly. That's my big thing. Here's the reference point. Ty Simpson, 15 career starts. Look at the quarterbacks who were drafted in the first round over the past 15 years who entered the NFL with 20 or fewer career starts. Richardson, Lance, Haskins, Murray, Trubisky, Tannehill, Cam Newton. And Cam Newton, by far and away the most successful player on this list, Cam Newton was a physical freak and was coming off one of the great seasons you'll see in college football. You can't say that about Ty. You could say his first 7-8 weeks were awesome. He was playing like the best quarterback in the country, but he didn't sustain it the whole year like Cam did at Auburn that season. So again, that's why I get a little weary. If you're Darren Muji, I don't think you need to take that swing at 16. I think you could just take a good player, help your team, help your standing with the organization, and you could sell Woody on, hey, give me a chance to pick my guy in 2027. Now, the Frank Reich stuff that Kiper's mentioning, it's important because if they're going to let Frank Reich have a major say, and they should, obviously I value his opinion more than I do Aaron Glenn. Frank Reich played the position. He's been a successful head coach at times in the league. He's been a successful offensive coordinator. Like, I value his opinion more than the head coach of the team. But we'll see what they do. I prefer them to not take Ty at 16. If they did it at 33, I would understand it. I would understand it. I got to be honest. I would. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast just gifted 2 channel memberships. He sent me a Venmo. Shout out to our guy, Jason Storm, for entering the raffle for 2. He's figuring it out, folks. The Beast in the raffle for 2. Hit it. What?
Calm your freaky down.
Joe Klecko signed helmet up for grabs on our show today. All right, let's get to your calls. Quick update on Asmaniac Madness voting. The onslaught is on. The big fella's up 80-20 right now on over Doug on the couch. And the first word on today's show goes to the man himself.
When he's home, his bell is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his bell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his bell is on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the Jets, SuperChats. When the big fella sleeps alone, there's no room on his bed. Well, that's a big fella.
Hey, what's up, man?
Big fella, how are you, sir?
Good, man. Good. I want to thank everybody for voting for me today. I really do. It means a lot. And I wish Doug would call in more because, he's a really good caller, and he doesn't deserve this route. No, he really isn't. He's a good guy. So, but the bet is the thing, bro.
You are the bed. When I think of beds, I think of you.
Thanks, man. You know what's funny? When you had the draft party last year, people were asking me, "Where's the bed at the draft party?" And I'm like, "Bro, I don't think he brought a freaking bed, dude."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I remember at the meetup we did before the Panther. Where'd Big Fella go? He dropped out. At the meetup we did for the Panther game, when Kyle Clifton showed up, people were just yelling, "Outside, outside," which was great. I mean, this community is tremendous. Call back in, Big Fella. Your line dropped out. I'll put you right back on. In the meantime, we're going to get into more of your calls. But first, this is a comment from that Jets guy, Dre, who says, Jake, would you package 33 and 44 to move into the first round to get him? Or is that the same as taking him at 16? Yeah, that's the same thing. That to me is actually worse. Think about it. Just take him at 16 if you're going to trade both your second round picks. What's the purpose of that? Just take him at 16 and keep 33 and 44. And I don't think it would cost that much to move back into round 1, by the way. That's an enormous price to move back into the end of round 1. Big fella's back with us. Big fella?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just wanted to thank everybody for voting for me. That's the main thing. My internet is crap today. I don't know what the deal is, but I love the fact that I get to meet everybody, and I'm grateful for the people that I've met in Tampa, in Tennessee, in New York, everywhere. And it's all because of you. It's all because of the show and everything. And I just love meeting people. It's you guys are awesome, and I hope to do a lot more of it, man. That's pretty much my thing. I love the Jets and everything. That's why I'm here. But a big part of me, like being around everything, is because I get to meet everybody and interact with everybody. So I appreciate it 100%.
Big fella, you're the man, and congrats on your dominating performance so far. I'll have to pull up the record book but you were potentially on your way to cracking the top 5 of the biggest blowout wins in Asmaniac Madness history.
I'd be honored by that, honestly. I mean, it's just funny. People come out and people were messaging me last night, like Janice Jett. She's amazing. I met her in Tampa, and I don't know. I just like, I'm very happy with the people that I met in this community. So, and it's all because of you, and it's because of our shit team. So it's like it's like but yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Kyle, I mean, big fella.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you're a 2 seed. You and Kyle, that is going to be a lot of fun, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella. I don't know if he caught the story, but when Kyle Clifton showed up at the Carolina game, when people were like, outside, he's outside. Oh, man, that got me thinking when big fella said people were like, where's the bed to him at the draft party? That's too funny. That is too funny. Hey, huge shout out to our guy, Phil, who sent me a Venmo 4 raffle tickets purchased for Phil. Phil, thanks for supporting the show, my man. I will make sure you are accounted for.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
M123 with a super chat. Mooj fired if we suck. Ty good somewhere else. Look, if Ty went to the right team, I'd feel a lot better about it. But the Jets coaching staff is on the hot seat. Are we sure they're going to have Ty's best interest in mind? Like, is he going to be given the time to develop? Or if they get off to a bad start, if it's going to Ty Simpson, the lever they could pull to try and save their job? That's what I worry about. And what if Ty is like, okay, but not great? And then we have an entire offseason of debate. Well, do you take a quarterback in 27 in the first round? You kind of have to, right? But no, like, I want to stick with Ty and build around him. It's the Darnold-Wilson debate all over again. Only Darnold, at least you had a 3-year sample size. How many games is Ty Simpson going to get if you took him in the first round? Right? I don't know. James writes in, the main draw I get from taking Ty Simpson is those 3 first, next year being purely BPA or trading back with a QB needing team. Both sound great to me. I agree with you, James, which is why I'm open to taking him at 33. It just feels too rich to me, personally. I understand people could disagree. People really like Ty Simpson. If you think he's going to be great, then I get it. I think it's too risky. Charles Gorman checks in. Hey, Jake, hope you're doing well, buddy. Charles, likewise with you. Call in. Let's get to more of your calls, shall we? Paul Faz is next. Hey, Paul.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, Paul?
When am I on? Tomorrow evening, I think, right? Second show tomorrow.
Paul, let's take a look at the upcoming Asmaniac Madness schedule. We're going through the extraordinary region this afternoon. Gary kicks things off. Tomorrow morning, it's Jordan, the 8 seed, Amanda Madison, the 9 seed. And then the 5 versus 12 battle, Chuck Wagon and Paul. That is coming your way tomorrow I guess this would be Friday morning. Yep. No. I'm bad at math. Gary's this afternoon. Jordan and Amanda tomorrow. You were right, Paul. You were tomorrow afternoon.
Cool. The whole quarterback thing. I mean, you and I, I'm going to be 55 this year. So I've been suffering a long time. And in my opinion, we've only had 3 franchise quarterbacks since we've even been around, right? You got Namath, Pennington, and O'Brien. And the whole quarterback thing, it's the only thing I'm really going to be lenient on, because one problem this organization has always had is quarterback. And until we solve it, we're not going to ever have a chance at being a dynasty team or any of that. I know I really like the kid. I watched another interview with Ty. He's got grit. He's a good kid, but you never know, right? It is always a crapshoot. So I'm going to have leniency when it comes to quarterback. I just am. Like, we need, good draft them this year. Next year, draft another one. Like, I really don't care anymore. I just need a quarterback moving forward. And I worry because, we haven't developed a quarterback ever, right? And we just have to hope at this point. But that's the only time I'm going to have leniency. I got to have faith in Muji like I've been. I think he's going to definitely be around for next year. I just think Woody would be foolish to get rid of him. I know he's not. I know there's still question marks. It's early, but reality is he's done a pretty solid job so far. That can't be denied. No reason to terminate him, right? It's going to take time before you really know how great he is, but there's a lot of people out there that speak highly of him, and I think we may have finally had an opportunity with him. And I've been saying it, right? He is my my hope. He really is. Like I pray that we can finally get at least GM right. I believe that's going to help our future too. I mean, we really need a general manager to run this organization. I worry like everybody else, but reality is we're not going anywhere without a quarterback. So if they have to go above and beyond on that, I'm going to be okay with it, because until it's solved. And I think, we haven't had a quarterback in a very long time. But that's all I got for today. Just frustrated because it's a lot, right? It's a lot of decisions. You could pass up on this guy. You could pass up on that guy. Reality is, the draft is super important for our growth, right? There's players out there that are going to be a bust. There's ones that are going to be all-stars, right? I mean, I hate Brady like everybody else, and look where he got drafted. So I get it. It really is a crapshoot, but I'm going to be totally fine if they make moves and keep signing some younger quarterbacks and taking a chance if they feel that, there's potential there. And let's just hope our new offensive coordinator is still a quarterback guru and can give us some good input and fix our long-term problem. But thank you, brother. And I'll throw some membership chats out when I bounce off. And I guess we'll talk tomorrow evening.
Paul,
thanks, bro.
Good luck, man. Love the call. And I understand your passion. I like Ty a lot. I just feel like it's such a risk at 15. Again, if you have conviction, though, you got to take them. But they have to be right. Like Muji doesn't. My point is, you don't want to think these guys think this way, but it's human nature. Like if you're Darren Muji, you don't need to take the quarterback this year. No one's expecting you to do it. No one's saying you have to get the quarterback. This is not like the Giants last year with Dable and Shane. They needed to get a quarterback. And turns out they got one seemingly correct in Dart, and it still wasn't enough to save the head coach. It just comes down to, do you believe in Ty? I like him. I do. I'm betting on history. 15 career starts. I can't take him at 16. Stuff. Atlantic City, Phil, are you on the K show today? Michael is back today. I am not on the K show. I am filling in next, or I guess it's not even next Friday. Whatever the day of the Yankees home openers, because K's doing the game on Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Faz is a man of his word. A 10 spot from Paul. Paul in the Asmaniac raffle for 10. What a country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you hear your name called, you're a channel member. Gotham Green, Sergeant Rock, Moody, Liberty, Joe Gulio, Alex Kipp, Nick James, D-Train, all receiving a gifted membership from Paul Faz.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive one ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
End of the show today. Second show today. We're giving people 2 shows to enter. Joe Klecko signed helmet. Plus, new weekly raffle prizes. Testaverde signed jersey. Wilson signed jersey. Martin signed helmet. We raffle those away on Friday. All right. If you've been following the show, Australian Jet fan made a promise if he were to win his first round Asmaniac Madness matchup. For those who missed it, this was the promise.
Advance to the next round. I'll hit the Jets chant as loud as I can in the middle of the street next time I call in at 3 a.m. So vote for me, Australian Jets fan, in Asmaniac Madness. Also, I heard the Jets need a quarterback. Wide 80, set, hut.
Touchdown,
Jets win the Super Bowl. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, live from Australia, is the Australian Jets fan. Let it rip, AJF.
I'm a man of my word in the 69 jersey.
Yes, Jets, Jets, Jets.
I'm going to get a
Go to
noise
bed,
complaint for that.
AJF. Well done. Well done, sir.
I will. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
Appreciate AJF with the effort there. Unfortunately, the Australia Wi-Fi, not great, but a good attempt nonetheless. All right, more of your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is the 1 seed in his respective region. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and get ready.
You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. Give me some of it. Hey, Charles! Who is that lovely lady? Sing it this way, Charles. Hey, Jake, how are you, man?
Hey, Charles, looking hairy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's up with this angle?
I don't think anyone should really take a lot of these mock drafts a bit too seriously. I mean, I would rather take either Averill Reese or Sonny Styles with the 2 overall pick. And as for the 16th, hell, I'll go offensive lineman. Vega Ione, baby. Give me more mauls up front.
I like the chest hair, Charles.
Thanks, Jake. I appreciate it.
Addison writes in, Jake Asman and Charles Gorman. It's all happening, baby.
Yes, it is.
Peter Castro says, Charles is a man among men.
Thank you, Peter Castro. I appreciate it. So how you been, man? I haven't been on your show in a while. How you been?
Been busy. Been working hard.
So Michael Kay is, I think the first Yankee game's on Netflix this year.
It is the day of the Yankees home opener now. They start on the road.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I'm sure you're aware that Venezuela beat Team USA last night in the World Baseball Classic.
Did they?
Yeah, 3-2.
Tough. Yes, I'm aware, Charles. I watched the game. I was disappointed the U.S. bats didn't hit again.
What else is new?
Well, you tell me what
doing well in his Asmaniac matchup. I think he's up over 90%.
He's up 80-20.
Good enough. When do you start the grown ass man region next month?
No, next month. We'll be on it by the middle of next week.
Okay. I'm the first matchup, Craig. I've gone against Robert C.
That is correct.
Robert C. Nervous? Oh, yeah, I remember him. He sang the God Bless America. No, I think he sang. They did a video.
What's on the agenda today, Charles?
Well, around 2:30, I have a live stream.
Okay.
Then I told Bundler they'll be planning on using the air fryer again tonight.
Okay.
May I make up some chicken sandwiches or some chicken sausages?
Have we given up on getting a job?
No, buddy, I have not given up, no.
When was the last time you applied for something?
I've actually considered applying to either Wendy's or any fast food place at this point.
You considered? How about you just do it?
Good point. How's your mom doing, Jake? I haven't heard from her in a while. How's she doing?
We went from you getting a job to how is my mom doing? She's doing well.
I will get a job, Jake. I plan on making a few calls and doing some applying myself.
Now you say you plan, but what if you just do?
Well, I gotta plan it before I do it. I don't like just doing shit without having a plan.
Okay, so the plan is to apply for jobs, but will you execute the plan?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Trying to think of something else.
What's your stream about today?
It's a series that I was planning on doing last week, but I got occupied with something else. But I showed it on Discord, so you can check it out when you get the chance. But as I was going to say was that Juwan Jennings still a free agent, right? I would like for the Jets to get him. Or I know your guy that showed up today doesn't think Brian Thomas Jr. will be traded. We shall see, man. Anything's possible. I mean, who'd have thought the Dolphins would trade one of their star wide receivers to the Denver Broncos, right? So we shall see.
Jerome has a suggestion. He says you should think about becoming a male prostitute.
I'll pass on that. Thank you, Jerome, but I pass on that.
Have you considered it?
No, I have not.
Jay Quest wants to know, how was your nap?
I didn't have a nap. I woke up early, had my breakfast, had a nice bowl of cereal.
Neil says Charles is a retired 30-something.
I'm not retired, Neil. I'm not retired.
Thunderlip says Charles is on the toilet. He's just hiding it better now.
I'm not on the toilet, as you can see. This is my feet.
How is the Gorman estate?
It's fine.
Great angle.
It's fine. It's going fine.
Beastbreaker says try some French toast and bacon.
French toast and bacon. I'm not the biggest bacon fan. I do love French toast, though. I mean, I do like bacon, but I'm not obsessed with it. Like, I know a lot of people love bacon. It's like, oh, bacon, 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 bacon. I'm not the biggest bacon eater. I do love French toast, though. I do love French toast, especially with maple syrup. Yummy.
Phil says sperm donors are making cash. Have you considered that?
Sperm donors. I'll have to think about that.
Rick Kent writes in, it's after 11 and Charles is still in his underwear and claims to have gotten up early. WTF.
Yeah, I know, Rick Kent, story of my life, buddy. I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Rick Kent has been to your estate.
I know. Carlos wants to get on with me. I'm sure he wants to give me an earful.
All right. Well, Carlos the barber wants to speak with Charles Gorman, so who am I to not make this happen? Hello, Carlos. Carlos, we can't hear you.
You're on mute, Bob. You're on mute. I can't hear your voice.
Here we are. This should be better.
There we go.
Now I can hear you.
All right. Well, first time actually talking to Charles face-to-face in person. Charles, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm guessing you're a barber?
Yeah, goodness. So actually, that's why I'm on here right now. What area are you located? I'm dying to give you a free haircut, man.
A free haircut? Holy shit.
Listen, I'm looking
nice.
at your hair. I'm looking at your hair right now, and I'm just like, I need to cut your hair,
I look
man.
like alfalfa, I know. I look like alfalfa.
I want to cut your hair. How can we make it happen? How far are you?
I live in Woodbridge Township.
How far is that from Florida?
You're in Florida. I'm in New Jersey, Bub. That's a bit far from me.
Well, I'll tell you what. You familiar with Asbury Park?
Yes, I am.
Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Yes, I am.
So I got family there. If I'm ever in that area, we're gonna have to get a hold of you somehow and get you that haircut, and it would be awesome to be live on the Jake Show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I love your shirt.
Thank you. So it's the logo for my barbershop here.
That's awesome, man. How long have you
You
been
can
in
Google
business?
it. I've been in business now here in this location about 4 years. But I started off back in 2019, right before the pandemic hit, at another location.
So what's the name of your barber? Carlos the Barber?
Carlos the Barber, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
But the name of the barbershop is Redemption Cuts Barbershop. You can actually Google it, man. Check it out.
Redemption Cuts Barbershop. Let me look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up. I'm a five-star review. Yeah, but I would love to just If there's anybody in Florida that watches the show, man, if y'all ever in town, man, come on by. Let me give you a haircut. We'll call Jake. We'll make this thing live and yeah.
Wow, you guys have 5-star reviews, over 37 Google reviews. You close at 6 p.m. You said you're good for kids. Wow, that's awesome, bro.
Yes, sir. I'm the only barber. I've never had anybody with me. Just been me by myself.
Seriously? You're your own dude? You're your own
Yes.
boss?
Yeah, one
God
man
bless
show.
you, man. God bless you, man.
So yeah, we got to make it happen. I got to get you that haircut, man. You need one.
I appreciate it, though, my man. I appreciate it. Thank you. And don't worry.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm going to talk about Spider-Man and movies and sports and video games and maybe hot chicks.
Hey, Carlos, amazing gesture. Do you do chest hair shaving? Do you full body waxing? That's what Gorman needs.
No, I've never done it. But I guess if the price is right, maybe maybe from the back, you know. From
I'll
the,
tell you what,
waist
I will
up.
personally pay whatever it costs for you to wax Charles Gorman's body live on the air.
Maybe from the waist up, though. You know,
You name the price, Carlos. We'll make it happen.
So I just wanted to call in and just kind of do that there, and you know, let's go Jets, man. I'm just ready for the season. You know, in a love and hate kind of way. You know, want to see what happens, but at the same time, can we, you know, play meaningful games in October? You know, I just don't want the season to be over like it was again this past season, where it was just hoping we can get some good football, man. Some competent football play would be nice, man. Just to see some competent offense being ran. Hopefully Geno can get in there and just look competent. You know, something that we haven't had in a while. You know, so yeah, Jet up, Jets, Jets.
Los, excellent call, man. Well done.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
All right, keep it rolling here. We got some great callers still on the line. Appreciate everyone's patience. On hold, again, Klecko signed helmet is our giveaway today for those of you who tuned in late. Here are the biggest blowouts in the history of Asmaniac Madness. Right now, the big fella's up 81-19. Big fella a year ago defeated Paul Faz 83-16. The biggest blowout win ever was Bonesy over JT 85-14. Right now, 81-19 would put the big fella on the list again for the biggest blowouts we've ever had in the history of the Asmaniac Madness tournament. So keep that in mind as you're voting.
Nunchy, wiki.
More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Knowledge the Jedi, who's next. What's up, Knowledge?
Hey, what's going on, Jake? I'm against drafting any quarterback in the first 2 rounds. I agree with you on your analysis on Ty Simpson. And I feel that we could get a quarterback in the 4th round, whether it's Beck, Adlar, or Green. I feel that if we go with Beck, we got a career backup QB for whatever direction we go in the 1st round next year. And the other 2 will have an upside that could surprise, even though we get them in the 4th round.
Look, again, I think that's totally fair. I think they're going to draft a quarterback if they don't take Ty early. It's just a matter of like who it is and, you know, what's their like long-term outlook. Is it like a true project guy? Is it a guy that just has some traits that they think can be coached up? Like, is it going to be more of like a pure pocket drop back guy who had some hype, who kind of fell off like a Garrett Nussmeier type, or are they going to try the true project like Taylor Green or something like that? There's so many different types of these QBs.
Yeah, I feel that it's just smarter to draft somebody in the 4th round or later, because to give up in the first 2 rounds the value we have on a QB right now, it wouldn't make sense to draft a QB next year. And I feel the next year's draft has like, I want to say 5 to maybe 6 quarterbacks that are really good. So I don't see the risk reward thing, grabbing Ty now, sitting him, waiting to see if Geno could bridge it, and then give him the chance like 2 years from now. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't sit well for me. There's so many things we could play with 2-16 right now that could really change our team. around, whether it's on defense, offense. We spend one on defense, one on offense. Regardless of how they move, I feel that we could get impact players, build around the rest of the team, and then get the QB next year. That's for the future. So I think
that's totally fair
that way.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people agree with you. I think the only caveat is, what if they're just in full bloom love with Simpson, right? Like, because that does happen. Now, I don't think they're going to do it at 16, but I do think there's a chance.
He's not Cam Newton. For that, Cam Newton's available. If you could get him off his show, he's an available veteran. We could put him as a backup. He could go against Geno right now.
Look, if he's 2011 Cam Newton, I'm in.
Like, hey, you never know. We just need a game manager and a strong defense and a solid running game. I think we could win games. Last year, we lost tight games with like a defense that wasn't even communicating with each other. They were lost out there. Imagine if we had like just good communication. You got a senior veteran out there at safety with Fitzpatrick, right? You got a good guy in the middle that could cover and blitz with Davis. That's been a veteran forever that could raise up anybody around him. Good communicator in the middle. That was the thing they were lacking last year, communication. We lost close games. There were games we could have won. I just feel Fields needed to run more. Why was he throwing? We brought him here because he could run. 25 passes and run them, maybe less.
Look, they had no plan for him, and they didn't have enough receivers for him. And he also a lot of times guys were open, he wouldn't throw it or he wouldn't process. So it was a mess. I don't put it all on Engstrom, but Frank Reich's a veteran. The ceiling should be higher with him and a conventional draft back quarterback with Geno, and we'll see what the offense looks like this year.
I appreciate your time, Jake. I don't feel it's worth the value to grab somebody in the first 2 rounds if he's not our guy for the future. Doesn't make sense.
I understand that now. It's a good call, man. Wi-Fi a little choppy there, but I think we got your point. So I like Ty. I would take him at 33, but that's the earliest I would take him. I've been pretty consistent in that. But I also liked him during the year, too. Like, people would always talk about Mendoza or more, and I'm like, well, what about Simpson? And then he kind of fell off. So it's like, well, they're not going to take him. And then this always happens, right? Pre-draft process. We all get excited. He does interviews. You know, the film people that we like do breakdowns on him. And you're like, yeah, I kind of see it. That just happens naturally. Ladies and gentlemen, Gators are already hard at work. Inspired by Charles Gorman's most recent call into the show, here is the new image for the grown-ass man region. It was this. But now, it is this. Before, after. What a world we live in, folks. What a world we live in. Beast, what do you think of that image of Gorman?
Ugh, please put a shirt on. I just ate breakfast. French toast and some bacon. Pretty damn good. Oh, yeah. And I'm looking
Meal
for
of
cages.
champions?
Hey, breakfast of champions. And right now I'm looking for a cage for my little boy. I'm trying to find some guinea pig cages for him because he don't like the one he doesn't like the one he likes right now. He wants something new. And I'm all over the place. I'm on Walmart.com and I'm on Marketplace, so I'm doing a little looking around and ain't getting nowhere.
How much does a guinea pig cage go for, Beast?
I'm looking at possibilities like between the $30 to $40 or $50 range, but it depends on the sizes.
Are you trying to get a big cage for little Joey?
Yep. He's going to be a big boy now. He's going to be a real big boy. He's a strong little man. Strong like wool. And just like the Dos Equis commercial, I might not always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Beast, thank you for the time.
That's a commercial. Stay thirsty, my friend.
Speaking of commercials, we'll be right back after these short words.
Are you tired of grilling outdoors? Are you tired of having to go to the kitchen to cook? Thanks to Beast's ultimate taste tool, my troubles are over. Sure, it's a little smoky, but who cares? Look, I even got a bucket to shit in so I never have to leave my room. Now you're cooking with butt.
And we're back. So Australian Jet fan called in earlier. He said he'd do the Jet chant at 3 a.m. in Australia if he won his first round matchup the other day. And his internet was a little choppy. So I give AJF some credit. He sent me this via the Discord. So I hopefully could play it. And let's listen in.
The reception where I live sucks. I got the 69 jersey though, like before, and I'm gonna record it this time, hopefully, and I'll just send it in. You, Jake. J-E-T-S! Jets! Jets! Jets!
Oh, it worked. Now, can I ask why AJF basically did like the pelvic thrust while giving the Jet chant?
Jake.
Watch this again.
J-E-T-S! Jets! Jets! Jets!
Like what? He's going like, like he's making sweet love to the Jet chant, which, look, I love the Jets as much as anyone. My living is discussing them every day, but this is an interesting way to do it.
J-E-T-S! Jets! Jets! Jets!
What are we doing here? Where's my calm the freaky drop?
Calm your freaky down.
Goodness gracious. AJF, family show. We all love the Jets here, but geez. Chef Brian's next on our program. Hello, Chef.
Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing,
Chef.
man? I can't really hear you. Why I keep losing connection, but I'll just make my point. Can you hear me though?
Oh, I hear you.
All right, cool.
Can you hear me?
So I was hearing what your guy, I forgot his name, the guy earlier in the show was saying about taking time. Oh no, it was Mel about taking Simpson on pick 16. I would take him, man, because the Jets don't really have a good history of taking these quarterbacks and making it work with them. Like first, because we don't have no guarantee next year that we're gonna get. I know you've said that before, but I don't know. There's no guarantee that we could trade or somehow get to pick number 1 next year and get Archie or whoever's the top prospect next year. So I would get somebody in the building right now and have Frank, get him, sit him down on the bench, get him ready for next year. Because you never know what could happen, man. Geno could, go up in flames and get him. You could get this kid later in the year and get him some snaps and get him ready for next year.
If they took him at 16,
again,
I'd be flabbergasted if he didn't play it at some point, Brian, because I don't expect the Jets to get off to this great start where Geno's balling, and I think sooner rather than later they'd go to Ty Simpson.
Yeah, man. So what else? I was gonna say one more thing. Oh, so I just became a member. Something besides football. I just became a member like a couple of days ago, and I just want to say, man, this community is absolutely awesome, man. Like I'm addicted to the show. Like I'm at work hearing this like at 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I got my metas on, like working in the kitchen and hearing the show at the same time. It's kind of awesome. But thank you for everything, and I'll try to call in more. I'm trying my best to call in more and more, and yeah.
Well, I appreciate you making the time, Brian. Thanks so much for being a part of our community, man. I mean, none of this is possible without people that still care about this team that has tortured us for so long, but one day we hope it changes. Appreciate it, Brian. Great call. Super chat from Spencer Green. He's in our raffle for 2. Jake, I'm shopping odds currently. What does FanDuel have as Geno's odds to win MVP? Not trying to bet with you. Want to place it, though. I know you're sponsored by them. Any code, give Beast my entries. Wow, nice gesture, Spencer. I don't think FanDuel has MVP odds up just yet. I haven't seen them. When I do see them, I will make sure we relay them to you. But I just checked, and they do not. What his odds be to win MVP? Probably historic. 25,000, maybe. I don't know. MVP. I mean, I'll take it. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. We've had one seized galore on today's show. Keep it rolling.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. You know women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
You're on mute, Mr. Gary.
That's a pretty good, catchy song. Good job, Gator. It's catchy, right? It's a good song. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if I'm up today, right? It's me and Jay Graves this afternoon.
That is correct. Yes.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to call in. So I wanted to call in now and tell everyone that they should vote for me. Jay Graves is a hell of a competitor, and she's a hell of a caller. And she's misseeded at 16, but that's what it is. Everyone should vote for me because I've given so much entertainment. I've given the ism. The ism saves lives. Lives are better. Lives are saved because of the ism. So remember this afternoon. Remember the guy who gave you the most entertaining and thought-provoking calls. That's me. So vote for me this afternoon. And shout out to Jay Graves for being a hell of a competitor. And congratulations on her first win. And I'll congratulate Big Fella too for. I know it's not over, but it's over. I like that. I haven't seen an image of me yet. That's pretty good. I like that. I look like I'm about 12 years old, but I like that. Yeah.
Now, Gary, this has come to my attention courtesy of Mr. J Quest. You filled out a bracket in the Asmaniac Madness bracket pool. And are you aware that right now you are dead last in the pool? Literally, you are 167.
I hope I do better in the actual tournament than I do in predicting the tournament. I really in last. Wow.
You are all by yourself. You're not just in last. You are in last with no one tied with you.
It's not great, Jake. That's not great.
Let's see your bracket here. What the heck did you pick? What am I missing?
I don't think
here?
I picked anything that crazy. Can you open the bracket? I don't really even remember exactly what I picked.
Yeah, let me figure out how I can see your bracket here.
After you do that, I want to ask you a question. Me and Decker are having a debate.
I'm trying to see how I could see your bracket. There's definitely a way. I just don't know off the top of my head. Edit or modify picks. Okay, let's see. Gary 3D boxing. Let's see. So you picked yourself to win. Let's see your bracket though. Right. I have no idea how to do this. Your final four was Big Fella, yourself, Kyle, and King Lowski.
That's pretty reasonable. Final four, isn't it? Like, I mean,
definitely. I just don't know why we can't see your full sheet here. I don't know how to do it. It just says just click the name, which I tried to do, but that wasn't working. Let's see. Seeing that
I'm really in last. I mean,
you are in
dead
last.
Someone's got to be in last, right?
Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. I'm trying, but somehow you've gotten more wrong than anyone.
All right, let me ask you this question, and you guys in the chat. I was helping. We have the NCAA tournament. We have a family pool with all our cousins and everything, and Decker was filling out her bracket, and so she picks him by whatever mascot would win in a fight. So we got to the Hofstra game, and we got into a big argument. Who wins in a fight? One elephant, Alabama. One singular elephant, or a pack, a pride of lions. So not one lion, a pride of lions, or one elephant. What wins in a fight?
How many total lions is that?
Well, okay, so AI defined a pride of lions as between 6 and 10. So I will go with that. AI defined it. You think, well, what if it's only 2 lions? Well, then probably the elephant. But if it's 6 to 10 lions versus one elephant, what wins?
I think I lead with the lions, obviously.
I would take the lions too. I said it depends. Either one could win. Can an elephant? I know an elephant is like 17,000 pounds or whatever. It can kill you just with hitting it with its trunk or kicking you. But can it really take down 6 to 10 lions? Lions are vicious. I'm taking the lions.
Pat McAfee says Gary had a discussion with a female.
I don't know what you guys think. Yeah. I would love for people to tell me what they think my position is on things, and then I could tell them how wrong they are. But yeah, I had a discussion with my daughter, who I love more than anyone on the face of this earth besides my wife. It's a weird thing to say. I don't know what people think my actual position is. I think you should not speak to women. No, I don't think that's correct. I just don't think they should vote. I don't know why that means you wouldn't speak to them.
Where are you calling us from?
I'm parts unknown, Jake. I'm in my my parents' house. It was my dad's birthday on Sunday, and I tell you he's not doing great. So I flew in for his birthday and staying a few days.
Are you in New York right now?
Indeed I am.
Well, thanks. Well, when are we getting together, Gary? This is news to me.
I was here to see my pops. I went to the Nets game on what to say Monday. But I haven't been around. I've been with my family. My dad's birthday was Sunday. I saw my brother, and then I'm seeing my best friend in Massapequa. So the guy's house I was at when I got hit by the car. So hopefully we don't repeat that this year. Hopefully I don't get hit by a car again. So I had a couple of things. I had a couple of things.
Gary, apparently you got yourself chased out of a pizza shop outside the Garden because of your hate speech of women.
No, they got embarrassed. We didn't get kicked out. The people were looking at me. That's true. But we didn't get kicked out. That's hyperbole. That's Hollywoodization of what actually happened. We didn't get kicked out. People were just looking at us. That's not true.
If you say so.
I'm sure it was Suprema's Pizza over by the Garden. We can pull the tape. No one got kicked out, Nate.
Pizza Supreme, you mean, on 8th Avenue?
Whatever it's called, yeah. You guys got embarrassed and left. We didn't get kicked out. That's not completely accurate.
All right. Well, good luck this afternoon, Gary. Let's see how you perform coming off your Final Four run a year ago.
Yeah, I intend to get back to the Final Four. Who do you think Hofstra's going to win?
The Bama point guard got arrested, didn't he?
Yeah.
I heard Speedy Claxton planted it on him.
Got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
By the way, there's a guy on the line that wants to give you his endorsement.
Nunchy, wiki.
He actually doesn't want to give me his endorsement, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, you know where you can throw him. What?
Beast?
Yeah. I haven't talked to him in years. I think he's been busy a lot because he's doing his own shit now.
Is he on the phone with someone else?
Yeah, no,
of course he is.
That.
Oh, I was so confused. Yeah.
Beast. We're on the air.
He's been. I don't know where he's at now. I don't keep up with all the work. Well, very busy. You know, things are changing. You know, we're evolving.
This is intriguing. What does Beast talk about?
I heard. I caught that in my Google feed.
Beast.
No, not really. I don't keep up with all that. I just get all that in my Google feed. You know, Google. Because Google has everything. Yeah, well, Google's good too. They're not that bad. La Puerta Negra.
Good to see Beast has his finger on the pulse of today's show. Well, Gary, good luck this afternoon.
All right, I appreciate that, Jake. And real quick, on Simpson, you said you take him at 33, right?
Yeah, because I feel like I'd be mitigating the risk of taking him in the first round in the top 16.
Here's my question, though. Because to me, 33 is still a premium pick. Do you think he's going to be good?
I think there's a chance he is good, but not enough to roll the dice at 16. But I'm willing to take the chance at 33 because of if he actually is good, think about what that does for the long-term future of the Jets if they had 3 ones and they didn't necessarily need to use it on a quarterback.
I remember having this conversation with Sabo about Mendoza. And I'm saying I don't think Mendoza's like the number 1 pick in the draft. And Sabo was saying it doesn't really matter how good he is. The system is he good within the system? And he would work in our system, so you take him. That was kind of my question about is he good enough? Maybe he's not great, but offenses are dumbed down. You can coach him up within the system and get him to thrive within the system. Is he good enough to do that? And is that worth 16? You know what I'm saying? Like, not is he good enough? Because I've always said, good enough's not good enough. And Bobby Sabo, who I like a lot, said, man, it kind of is. Good enough is kind of good enough. Like, is that how we feel about Ty Simpson? Is he good enough?
That's what they have to determine. I think he could be a top 12 starter in the league if he hits his ceiling. I just think it's risky with 15 career starts, so I wouldn't do it at 16.
That's the thing I don't want. I just haven't. The same thing I had, and I like Dante Moore. I would like to see more Dante Moore. I'd like to
Same
see
rationale why I wouldn't have taken him at 2 if he came out. And I think he did the Jets a favor going back to school because he's made 20 career starts.
Yeah. That's really all I got. Good
Ladies
luck,
and
Jake.
gentlemen.
Did you watch the Texas game last night? Oh no, you were watching the baseball game.
The Texas game.
The playing game.
Oh no, I didn't watch a minute of it. I was watching baseball on the Knicks and Islanders.
All right. They hit advanced last second jumper. They won by 2.
Hook 'em.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
Gary in action this afternoon. Bino with a super chat saying extraordinary Gary. Bino lending support. Brian in the raffle for 2.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Leany Fun for the gift she gave Beast. 1 more point, Jake. Well, first off, Brian, that's very kind of you. Chef Brian Morales in the raffle for 2. Glenn has to be aggressive this year. Blitz off, and he has everything to lose if he doesn't. Keep gains close for the offense. Well, they could give up yards. They got to get turnovers, man. Like, that's how you could win games in the NFL. We don't know what that's like because we watched the full season without a damn interception. But that's what Glenn's defenses in Detroit did well, especially that last year when they were undermanned with injuries. That's what they need. So I agree with you. They should be aggressive. You got nothing to lose. Addison says, Keith Sweat knows who does it better than Gary. All right, more of your calls here. There's a man on the line who's very cool.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey, Jake, happy Wednesday.
Happy hump day, Adam. That's what, by the way, that's what AJF was doing in his Jet Jam video. He was observing hump day.
J-E-T-S! Jets!
I mean, that's the Oz in him. What can I say? Well done, AJF. Just two quick points. One, I love the ambiguity of all these analysts thinking we're going to pick, could it be Styles? Could it be Reese? Could it be Bailey? I love it because that just makes the possibility of a trade down from 2 to like something not too far away doable if one of the teams below us really is dead set on one particular player. So that favors us, even if we already know who we really want. That the ambiguity probably will entice someone to try and trade up and jump Arizona or jump Tennessee. So that's good. Thank you, Kiper. Appreciate it.
Again, Kuiper's changed his mock each time. I don't think the Jets are going to take Simpson at 16, but I do think it's a conversation.
Yeah, well, I think with Simpson, I think he's a first-round pick because I think that folks will assume the Jets will pick him at 33 if he makes it down there. And you know what? I think we've all landed on that's a great spot to draft him if that's what happens. But I don't think he's going to make it there. I think someone's going to try and hop in front of us and get Ty Simpson in the late 20s. That wouldn't shock me, and that would whatever happens. We'll get someone really great at 33. And if it happens to be Simpson, that would make sense because I think he is a really good quarterback. I thought Dante Moore's a great quarterback. And unfortunately, like the taste in everyone's mouth is when they got destroyed by Indiana in the playoff. That's all people remember is like their last game. So you know what? Like they're probably better than we think. But I think the other challenge with someone with so few starts is what is the learning plan for them? They can't like magically come up with another 15 college starts sitting on an NFL bench. So I think that's why it's so hard to like see success when you have that little experience on the field, in a professional setting. So, I mean, I don't know if Reich, can do it as Professor Reich, but if that is the case, then it'd be interesting to see what that development plan looks like and probably to be tempted not to rush him out. We probably would still need a veteran on top of drafting Ty, which again would probably sit, weird in people's minds. Like, oh, you'd get 2 veterans and then you draft Ty at 33 with the second round pick. So I guess we'll have to see what happens there. I hope that another team does us a solid and just drafts Ty Simpson ahead of us, and then we don't really have to concern ourselves with a rookie quarterback in 26.
I think that's fair. If you take Ty, there needs to be a real plan, and you got to hope and pray they actually stay true to their plan and don't play him before he's actually ready.
Exactly. And one last thing. Thanks again to the Asmaniacs for helping me advance in the madness. I don't think I've called in since that matchup. So thank you very much. Looking forward to a really great second round against Papa Jet.
Hell yeah. Adam, great call. Adam is too cool. Outstanding. All right. Last chance to enter our raffle. Appreciate the super chat here from J-Tech. What are your thoughts on how Bailey or Reese could fit into a 4-3 base, considering how they might fit long-term if Glenn's gone after the year? I think Reese could fit into anything. Personally, like, I think he's that level of athlete. And Bailey, I mean, I think Bailey's an elite pass rusher. It doesn't matter what type of defense you're in. If his goal is to get to the quarterback, I think he could do that no matter what type of style of defense they play. I think that's the feeling. Like, I think Bailey's probably best served as a 3-4 edge, but I think he could play in a 4-3. I think he's a really good rusher. I do. I still prefer Reese, though. I have fully come around on Arvell Reese. I want Reese. I believe in the upside. He's 20 years old. I think he's already really, really good, and I think he's only going to get better. All right. Home stretch here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check in with a man who might still be taking a call talking about utter nonsense.
La Puerta Negra. And I bet he blew his load when the kid was trying to tell him, give it to me, yeah. Yeah, he probably blew his load right in his face because he couldn't hold it. Well, hey, he can't hold. It's called buckle under pressure. So what you up to? What you got on today? Oh shit! Birthday. Well, all right. Well, hey, I gotta hit you up in a bit. I gotta take care of some bizzo. Shizzo. Woo! Yes. I'm on the telephone taking care of straight up bizzo and looking for guinea pig cages, but unfortunately, I'm not getting nowhere because they're expensive. And I don't. And let me just say this for everybody. Money does not grow right here. Money don't grow here. Money doesn't grow on an ass. Oh, look, it's Kip. It's Kip Winger from the band.
I want to say this. I just looked up guinea pig cages. They're expensive. You're looking at $200-$300 for a cage. Anything decent.
I already went to Walmart. I'm already looking at Walmart.com.
Why are they so expensive?
I know which size I want. I need something a little bit bigger, a little wider because he's going to be 2. He's a big boy now. He's a strong, healthy little boy. He's strong like bull.
What do you feed a guinea pig? Hopefully nothing that you eat.
Veggies and fruits and water. He likes his hay and he likes his pellets too. But he also sometimes he likes the pizza crust. Because, he's a very elegant boy, very elegant, fancy man.
You know where I went on Monday? I went to Crispy Pizza in Bay Ridge on Monday. That shirt that you got. I was there on Monday.
And?
It's phenomenal. I've been there before. I used to live in Bensonhurst. I lived in Bensonhurst for 3 years.
I see that. I see that. I got two of the biggest pizza killers up here, and then we have to have a shootout.
Crispy Pizza is I would stand on this. One of the 10 best pizza places on the face of the earth. I would stand on that.
Well, you got to meet the guy that makes the pizzas. He says, hey, no slop jalops here. You got to make it fresh too, and make sure you check it too, because when you're doing the pizza, you got to do the dough. You got to break it in. You'll use your fingers and all. Oh, come on. The guy even said making a pizza for him is like riding a bike. Same thing. Sure, you start off with a tricycle that with the little wheels, but then once you get older, you get to the big boy bikes, and then once you get even older, you get to the Harleys, or the Kawasaki's or the Yamahas. And normally I don't like Yamaha. I've seen what Yamahas are.
I don't know who owns the pizzeria, but it seems like you have a quite a friendship with the guy. What's his name?
Well, the guy's name is Joe. Just look it up. Just look it up in the place. He works in Brooklyn. He works in Brooklyn.
I know. I was there on Monday. It's on 13th Avenue. I was there.
Yes, I figured
13th
Avenue is your easiest spot.
This is like the upside down pie, which is my favorite. The upside down.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize I was on.
Hey, what up, big fella? And someone said
up?
L&B. I love L&B, but I would take crispy over L&B. I would rank crispy Sicilian over
So what
L&B.
pizza? What slice did you have? The Neapolitan? Did you have some Sicilian?
No, I got the Spincione, which is like authentic Sicilian pizza with the breadcrumbs and the anchovies, and then I got the Paloma, which is basically the upside down.
No anchovies. Oh.
Spencer Green says, Beast, enter Joey into battles. You can win money if Joey survives against the other pig.
Joey's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a tough little boy. He's strong like bull. He's kind of like that the Dos Equis coach going, I might not always drink beer, but when I do.
I've honestly seen groundhogs smaller than him, bro.
I thought a guinea pig was like a hamster. I didn't realize they were
it's,
big.
He's elegant.
It's
very
big.
elegant.
It can get bigger.
What is a guinea pig? Just like a giant hamster?
Let me also address. Let's address the monkey in the room. He's very elegant, and also he likes to. But if I get like a home run in pizza and he likes the crust of it, he just likes. That's for the fancy man.
Hey, Beast, what wins in a fight? An elephant or 6 to 10 lions? What wins in a fight?
It depends on how the fight goes. If it gets dirty, then it'll have to be a draw. Now between Ali and Frazier, I'd have to give it to Muhammad Ali, because why? Muhammad Ali said these words: "I am the greatest. I am the greatest."
Well, they fought 3 times, and Frazier won the first one, but Ali won the second 2. So we don't.
Frazier, I did like Ali. Frazier was okay.
Hey, Beast, $500 offer if you shave your head right now. That's a big guinea pig cage that you can purchase.
Your head is 75% shaved already. Like, why not just shave it for $500? It's already 3/4 of the grade done anyway.
I'm keeping mine because there are bands coming soon. Soulfly's coming on the 2nd. Exodus is coming on the 15th. Creator's coming on the 20th. Yeah, the Violence Tour is on its way. Don't think we're ready? I look ready. I'm prepared for this year. I'm really prepared. But there's a lot of things to come. But just remember these words. I don't do stupid shit for money. You know why? I leave that. Leave that to the politicians. Leave it to the politicians. They want to be stupid and do stupid shit like that. That's on them. What's on me is business is business. You do
what?
You do what you got to do, and I got to do what I got to do.
What wins? A pack of lions, 6 to 10 lions, a pride of lions, or 1 elephant?
A pack of lions.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
No, it's a pack of lions. First of all,
you got no choice there.
First of all, elephants don't have like that blood loss that lions have, and lions can coordinate. So that's.
I'm taking. So you're taking Hofstra to beat Alabama, correct?
I didn't do a bracket this year yet.
Go Pride.
I've been really busy.
Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Last chance to vote. I'm going to close the poll shortly. Got time for 1 or 2 more calls. Ladies and gentlemen, we already had 1 chef on today. How about another? Chef Kevin is next. What's up, Kev?
Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? How was St. Patty's Day at Cloverleaf?
Ooh, monster. Hey, we did have a Jet legend show up, the great Eric Smith. Eric Smith.
Really?
He's a frequent patron here. Really great dude. It was actually his birthday too, which I didn't know.
That's awesome. Happy birthday to Eric Smith.
Yeah, I popped my head out the door and I saw 2 little kids with Jets hoodies on. I'm like, yeah, go Jets. I turn over to my left. I look up. I'm like, oh, what up, Eric? How you doing,
That's
man?
awesome.
Good dude. I asked him about who does he want at 2? He wants Styles, which isn't bad. I did get on him because the last time I saw him here was over the summertime and he was really high on Fields. And that was the first thing I did was like, yo, what up, Eric? And I'm like, what the hell happened with Fields? He's like, yeah, he was like, I messed that up. you know. But St. Patty's Day was really fun, man. Good time. It was my first day back to work. I was out for a little bit, so a little tired or whatever. But it was very successful. Just for everybody out there, hope everybody enjoyed, had a good time. Everybody was safe and all that. Shout out to the big fella, man. Big fella. He was the first Asmaniac to come to the Cloverleaf. He brought his son, the little big fella. He ain't little. He's bigger than me too. Good dude and all that. Doug on the couch. I love his takes. He's been calling in for a long time. I consider him an OG. He just little more consistency with the calls, but he is one of those Jet fans that live in that Boston, New England area. So it's tough for those Jet fans that live up there, and I'm an experienced too, going to school up in the Rhode Island area. So Doug, great call, man. But I gotta go with that fella, man, the big fella. He's a true Asmaniac. He means well. He's for the community. I could go on and on. It looks like he has a nice little lead, but just want to show my support. And then for my guy Neil, I'm going against Neil in that second round, man. I'm in that kitchen cooking up, man. I got a couple things in the works. I got a nice little chicken parm action going on here. I know Neil's a big Italian cat. We don't do chicken parms here, but yo, Neil, I'm gonna eat you up, Neil. I'm gonna eat you. Look at this.
Wow, that is unreal. I'm starving now. Oh my god. Hey, I got a food connoisseur on the line. Beast, what do you think?
It looks good, but for him, he wants bananas. How you doing, Chef?
I'm great. What about burgers, man?
Hey, a question. Can I get a fresh spaghetti with the tomato sauce and that chicken parm with some garlic bread?
That looks amazing, Chef.
Great. Yo, and then I also got another little thing here too. I got like a pepperoni pizza burger. I'm trying to do the little Italian theme for my guy Neil. I got some of that fresh sauce here. Let me see if I could do it like that right on top of this beautiful pepperoni pizza burger. Yo, Neil, man, I know you got your points, man. 13 points. I'm gonna eat those points up, man.
Let's go. It's going down in that region, man. Chef Kevin and Neil. 7 versus 2 in the round of 32. Kev, great call, man. Love it.
Let's go.
Chef Kevin Gilbert checking in from the Cloverleaf Tavern, Caldwell, New Jersey. I highly recommend it. Chef's the man. The staff there, they were tremendous. I was rocking my Cloverleaf Tavern hat the other day on the show. What was I going to say? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Gary's been talking about Lions on the show, so this was just sent to me by a very attentive listener. Gary, your thoughts?
I look fat there. I look like a fat lion. It's all right. It's all right. Go Pride. And also, I just want to put this out there because I don't know if anyone knows this. St. Patrick is Italian. He's not Irish. That's another thing they've taken from us. Go look it up. St. Patrick's parents are from Rome. You can
tell everybody, please respect your elders. That's all.
What a show, huh? Never know what you're going to get around here. Brian says, Jake, 4 p.m. show. I'll have smoked brisket ready. I love this. We might have to get a cook-off going between Chef Kev and Brian. I know my pal Nico, who works for the Yankees, is a regular listener, but he doesn't get a chance to call in because he's always working. We have quite a few chefs that are in this community, which is awesome.
Nunchy, wiki.
And we can't forget about Beast. This man once performed a full-on barbecue in his attic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to close out voting in what has been a runaway matchup this morning. It has been all big fella in the 2 versus 15 battle. Voting is closed. Congratulations to the big fella who defeats Doug on the couch 80-20. 80% to 20% with 440 votes that were cast. So big fella advances to the next round. Folks, here is your look at the Asmaniac Madness bracket for the now completed Dangerous Alliance region for the round of 64. Here are the round of 32 battles. Leany and Thunderlips. Adam is too cool and Papa Jet. AJF, that's Australian Jet fan against Mad Max, and Luppy and the big fella. If you missed it, we already completed our first region for the round of 64 last week on the program, the inside-outside region. You got Kyle Clifton and Rob the Jet fan, Peter Castro and David T, Ricky and Y in the Lane Train, Chef Kevin and Neil. We just talked about that when Kevin called in. And now we kick things off in the extraordinary region this afternoon. We have Gary and Jay Graves going at it. And that will be, of course, the first matchup in the round of 64 for Gary's region. And then tomorrow morning, we have Jordan, the number 8 seed, against Amanda Madison, the number 9 seed. And then tomorrow afternoon, the Chuck Wagon, the 5 seed, against Paul Faz, the 12 seed, in action. We do 2 matchups a day. I do a show every Saturday that we do a matchup, and we'll do that as we make our way through each bracket, each region inside the Asmaniac Madness bracket. So here's where things stand. Half the bracket's been completed for the opening rounds. Now we get to the extraordinary region this afternoon. Looking forward to it. Big fella's on the line. So big fella, congrats on winning. How you feeling about moving on to the next round?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I'm really honored that everybody voted for me. I want to give a shout out to my son, the little fella. He's the one who helped me with the video, and I love that kid, and he's doing really good in Tennessee. So, shout out to him, and shout out to everybody, who voted. You guys make this community great, and like I said, I think.
Oh no, big fella. The internet guy's not cooperating, but big fella, he wins, he moves on, and it is certainly well-deserved. Good job by Doug on the couch. He's a great caller. We just need Doug calling a little more, and he wouldn't be a 15 seed. That does it for me. I'm back this afternoon. We'll be live at 4 p.m. Joe Blewett's going to join us. We got some film on Geno we're going to break down. How much of last year's actually on Geno? I think when we go through it, you guys are going to be surprised. Before we get out of here, a final word from Beast and Little Joey.
We just want to say we'll see you guys at 4 o'clock later on today.
Go Jets.
You know how to give me diarrhea. Eat a bag of dicks. A bag of dicks.
What's up, Thunder Beast? How you doing today?
Shut up, clown boy.
I have more muscles than Beast.
Beast joins us now.
No, you don't, you little bastard.
Hold on, we'll get to friend Beast. We can't see you.
What?
Oh, God. What
it's
the
too
hell?
dark. Turn the lights on.
Turn the light on, Beast.
No.
Turn the light on, Beast.
Turn the light on. We
it.
can't see.
That's it. Thanks a lot to my muscles, guys.
Oh, my God. What is
I figured back for me.
What even is this, man?
You know what you are, Max? A pompous bitch.
Well, show us your muscle, Beast. Now we can see you. No one can see you.
This is my world. Wow. That. I will break you, you little midget.
Dylan, who won the muscle off?
Everybody but the Asmaniac community won that muscle off.
Who won the muscle off, in your opinion?
Beast won the muscle off. When I saw Mad Max take his shirt off, it reminded me I have to pick up some pipe cleaners for my kid's art project.
That's a man's man right there.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.